want to go through my whole life being the girl that murdered her mother. You know my story. All right, now let's see what I do with my life. Comes a time where I have to make a choice, and that is, when do I say enough is enough?
Gypsy-Rose Blanchard is no longer interested in living the life of a celebrity and says that she wants to trade the fame for a 9-to-5 at McDonald's. Yeah, I'm not making this up. Gypsy-Rose appears to be recognizing that fame isn't as glamorous as it seems and is considering transitioning to a regular 9-to-5 job. She's considering Sephora and even McDonald's. As most of you are aware, Gypsy-Rose has been the focus of attention on social media for some time now due to her tragic story with the way that she was treated by her mother throughout her childhood that ended up having her unalive her own mom. This led her to almost a decade in prison. She was just released from prison in December of last year, and she had become an overnight celebrity. Well, now the spotlight has prompted her to reassess her future aspirations. And let me tell you that people are shocked to find out that McDonald's is one of her career aspirations. I mean, get your bag, sis. So Gypsy-Rose recently did an interview with Entertainment Tonight, and she says that she doesn't wish to stay in the public eye much longer, and that she actually wants to live an ordinary life, like getting a 9-to-5 job or even working at Mickey D's. Gypsy has been reflecting on her life at the current moment and contemplating the future, stating that everything's been overblown, and although she's had fantastic opportunities, she doesn't foresee them lasting. I think influencers should take note of this because we've definitely seen a lot of influencers who let their ego get over their heads and think that their fame is going to last forever, but honestly, it's good to know that Gypsy is at least self-aware that the fame and attention that she has on her right now isn't going to last forever.
What is your plan? Do you plan to try to go get a normal job, a 9-to-5, or do you think you're too prominent of a public figure at this point where having like a conventional job and a conventional lifestyle is sort of out of the question?
When things calm down and I have no obligations, I do want to get a 9-to-5, but first I have to kind of learn the things that get me there. So I'm still working on like driving. I need to get my driver's license, as I said before. So to get to a job, I need to know how to drive.
What is that 9-to-5?
Part of me is kind of like, maybe I should just go work at McDonald's.
Well, I love those French fries. You do love those French fries.
I love those French fries. I don't know. They're so good.
Is there?
But I do like retail too. So maybe something in the mall, like makeup, like Sephora or something, because I love makeup.
Yeah. So the plan is to have a normal life. You're not, interested in being a full-time public figure walking red carpets.
No. I think that everything has been very hyped up, and I've had wonderful opportunities, but I don't see those lasting, and I think that there comes a time where I have to make a choice.
She explained that she is still working on driving, that she needs to get her driver's license first before actually going out and getting a job and working a 9-to-5. So I feel like she's actually serious about this, because the fact that she's considering getting her license because of this. Gypsy is around 32 now, but of course she was in prison for a big portion of her life, so she didn't really have any time to focus on getting a license or really even thinking about that. So now I guess is the time for that, so that she can go ahead and drive her way to McDonald's. Some of you may know that Gypsy has recently spoken out on not being fond of social media and the fact that a lot of people label her as a... While she did admit to being guilty of that, she does want people to give her a second chance, to be able to see how she's changed as a person and what good she is able to do out in the real world now that she's free.
I do my best now that I'm out in the free world. I do my best to try and just live my authentic life and what's real to me. And what's not real is social media. Like, social media is like literally a doorway to hell. Like, it's so crazy. I can't even wrap my head around what social media is. I thought that once I got out of prison, I'd come out and I'd enjoy social media like the next, person, taking selfies of myself in the mirror and just acting goofy and everything. It's the simple stuff in life, right? So a lot of people probably already noticed that I deleted my Instagram, my public one, the one with it was 7.8 million followers when I deactivated it, or I deleted it. I permanently deleted it. And a lot of people are like, what happened? What happened? And what happened is I had a really good conversation with my dad, actually. And he gave me some guidance that I feel like I really needed. And that guidance was to just show me that, like, real life is something you could touch, something that you could feel, people that you could actually hug. And with the public scrutiny, as bad as it is, I just don't want to live my life under a microscope. And so I created my private Instagram and I got it verified. And you know what? I had absolutely no trouble or like doubts of deleting that public one. And I have people that are like, oh my God, like, you're insane for deleting that kind of a following. And I'm like, I could give a F about a following. Like, that's not real life.
Gypsy has also talked about the spotlight and the fact that there's millions of eyes on her, and that all this fame and attention has completely transformed her life since she's been out of prison. Even though there was a lot of good for Gypsy that came out of being social media famous, growth for personal brand, being invited to major events where you see A-list celebrities, and of course, her making a lot of money, there also, of course, comes a downside. And for Gypsy's case in particular, it seems like a lot of the backlash she's been receiving has been predicated off of her unaliving her mother and being labeled as a murderer. Others are just not too fond of the idea that she became like this overnight celebrity right out of prison, and that it just seems so dystopian and scary, and like, what kind of a world do we live in where a was getting all this fame and attention. Gypsy did mention a while back that she wasn't going to be on social media. She did end up deleting her TikTok, but she's now back on TikTok.
I will be taking a little bit of a step back from social media just to prioritize my family, prioritize my relationship with Ken, and just save a little bit of those special moments for family and just keep it a little bit more personal. My personal choice that I'm prioritizing, my own mental health, my family. I don't think there's anything wrong with having occasional check-ins with yourself that, hey, if you need to pull back a little bit, that's okay. If you want to take a step forward a little bit, that's okay. But knowing when to do so is probably the healthiest option.
And here was a lengthy message she left on her TikTok a couple of days ago. She said, "Don't ask me to relieve my trauma for your personal curiosity. Don't demand me to know the answers to questions that have no relevance in your life. Don't expect me to have overcome my past on your time. Don't tell me about my mistakes and choices when I am who has to live with them on my conscience. Don't project what you want me to be because you find it more interesting. I am not a celebrity. I am a trauma survivor who is healing from emotional, mental, and medical abuse. I have shared my story in the hopes it would educate about Munchausen by proxy and inspire other survivors, only to have my abuse be invalidated by content creators on social media who do not have any psychological education to back up their claims despite multiple psychiatrics specializing in MBP, such as Dr. Mark Feldman, who interviewed for 2017 HBO's Mommy, Dad, and Dearest. After reviewing my medical records obtained for my case, he had high belief that my mother indeed had MBP. Don't ask me to advocate, I am healing." All of her posts that she is currently posting on her TikTok seem to have the ability to comment disabled, so it seems like that's the route that she is choosing to use her social media as a way to alleviate how she feels when using social media, since she can get a lot of comments that she is not fond of, like comments that are still referring to her as a murderer. Gypsy also has gotten some cosmetic surgeries that she has been criticized for, so I feel like it's just been a lot on her plate from her past to her deciding to get cosmetic surgeries and just kind of reinvent herself in a way. When her new appearance came out on social media, a lot of people were actually here for it, but there were a lot of people that called her out for trying to be like a Kardashian now, that she was just switching up with all these cosmetic surgeries as if it was going to just erase her past. But I want to know what you guys think about Gypsy-Rose's future plans and what she said she'd decide to do with her career. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.